The Strain Season 4, Episode 2, The Blood Tax. This was a pretty good episode. I think I actually like this episode a bit more than I like the premiere, mostly due to the fact that, not only do we get to see more of the characters, because technically we get 3 of the main characters instead of, just 2, but it was just darker because we got to kind of, really see what was happening with this organization and how the world is like kind of, working towards everyone being together and living, side by side with the Strigoi. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was just a really dark look at just everything that's happening. They bring back the the human character that was working, with the Master in the last season, where he basically he was starting things up, where like draining humans for their blood and stuff, and that's officially become what this organization is, where it's like we're moving on and we're getting better and everything, and it was really good. I was like, all right, this is a really dark episode, just everything that they were showing off, which mostly focuses on Dutch as she's kind of trapped inside of this place where they just impregnate women and kind of raise them. It's just basically, raising cattle. Like, that's pretty much what they're doing, and it's for blood instead of meat. So it was just a crazy episode. Of course, we do beforehand get to see, our other main characters. So we get to see that Dutch and Setrakian are actually together, or they were for a time. And we jump back, I believe they jumped back 6 months, so it was actually 3 months after like Illumination Day happened. And things were kind of set up fairly fast, because they jump back in time, and it's like, okay, well, we have Dutch and Setrakian, they have like their own home base and everything, and I believe they were still in New York City. And then they end up running into Gus because he's now working with like the broker guy who had like the big battle between Setrakian and I can't even think of the dude's name that he took over, but Cadbury from Richie Rich. So it was like, Gus is not working with those guys. He's like, I had to work with them because our gangs would have like, killed each other off if we didn't. Gus also looks weird because I'm like, oh, it's crazy to see him with like a full head of hair. It was so weird to me. I was like, he just looks like a totally different person, so that was funny. But, they interact with each other, and Setrakian tries to get Gus to kind of help them out. It's like, hey, we could use your skills. Like, there's going to be a time, like, it's not yet, it's crazy, but there's still going to be a time, in the future where we're going to need someone with your skills. And like, this is, my fight right now. And we don't really get to see exactly what he's up to. It does seem simple enough where, he breaks into the place with his cousin. And I thought it was going to evolve into something greater, where it was like, he was probably keeping Setrakian and Dutch out of it, where it's like, I know they're doing their thing, they got the book and all that stuff. And he's kind of just like, I'm going to do my thing. And, when he was breaking in, I was like, okay, so he is still working on taking out the Strigoi, but it had a lot more to do. It really had nothing to do with that. It was solely based on, like, getting food and, things like that. So, we'll see exactly where he goes with his character, which he probably won't be with those guys for too much longer anyway, because of everything that plays out with his cousin, where they go through, everything starts off fine, and then, of course, the guard comes in and is like, all right, well, I got to take my cousin with us, like, you're coming with us now. And then the dude's like, he can stay here for a couple of days and that's it. And I'm like, if he didn't shoot that dude, they probably, totally different situation, but he came in just guns blazing, and he couldn't even shoot right, because clearly he missed, and that's why the guy escaped in the first place, because he couldn't shoot properly. So, he's like, yeah, he can stay here a couple of days, and Gus was like, I'm not kicking my cousin out after you screwed up, what was happening. Like, I was trying to at least talk the guy down. So, we'll see what happens there. I don't know if his cousin is going to betray them or not. Like, that was something I was kind of wondering. I was like, I don't know if he's going to, they already screwed it up where everything went wrong. So now it's like they're going to try to kick him out after they kind of screwed up his life. So I don't know how that's going to play out. If he's going to rat him out, or if Gus is just going to end up fighting some dudes and they survive or whatever. But I'm curious to see where that storyline's headed. But naturally, the main focus on this was Dutch, and after things, kind of get crazy, they leave Gus, they go back to, like, their home base. They find out that the Strigoi found them, they're attacking the place, setting it on fire, because, of course, they want to get rid of the book. So Dutch goes in, Setrakian's supposed to hide. Dutch gets chased down, but, of course, she survives. She hides the book, which I thought was really cool, because she knew maybe I'll get captured. So the book, technically, is still out in the open, but they both get captured, they both end up on the bus, and when they get to, like, this camp, people are getting split up. They have like the little feeler characters, which I thought was cool. Like, they're sniffing the woman, and then the girl like freaks out and stuff. And I was like, that's just interesting to watch. It was just weird. And so Setrakian was like, I know what this is, and he like pushed the guards and stuff. And I don't know if that was his plan, was to like have him forcibly take him. I assume that's where he would have gone anyway, but it's just kind of hard to tell. But like he gets taken away, and of course, the kid like smells on Dutch and then freaks out and is like, okay, she can have kids, so she gets put away with like these other ladies who are able to have kids, and that's pretty much where she's been this whole time. She's just been trapped and working on a way to get out, and she's making friends here and there. She gives fake name and everything, and once again it all comes down to the end where she's trying to make that grand escape, and she finds out that her friend is having issues where it's like, I don't know if they'll be able to impregnate me, which means they'll probably get rid of me like they did the other woman early on in the episode. She just disappears, her stuff is gone, most likely killed. So of course Dutch is like, alright, well, instead of me going, you're gonna escape. And even that falls apart because their friend was freaking out. She's like, I can't do it, I can't breathe. It's like, you gotta calm down. And they start freaking out and stuff, and then the guard just randomly walks in after they like knock some stuff over, and it's like, okay, something weird's happening, and naturally they get the guy probably killed. I don't know. He's like, I didn't touch them or anything, and they don't say anything because, of course, they'll get killed. So he gets taken out of there, and Dutch kind of moves up in the ranks almost, where she has the opportunity to. So I think she'll ultimately end up utilizing that to her advantage because really that's all she's got at this point. Like, she will have to do that in some capacity to get a little bit extra information as to what's going on. Maybe that's how she'll end up finding Setrakian and stuff. But for now, she's just trapped, and we still don't really know what is going on with Setrakian. Like, all they do, like, the big time skip, Setrakian's not in there, the rest of the time. Like, we see what's happening with Gus currently, and we see, of course, what's happening with Dutch, but we have nothing on Setrakian. Outside of him being captured and then him being taken through that random door, there is nothing on him for the rest of the episode. I'm sure he's, of course, still alive, but we still don't exactly know what's going on with him. So I'm looking forward to that. We do, of course, get to see what F is doing after he rescues the guy who had, like, the wounded leg, so he helps him out, and he deals with this, small group, and things, of course, get really crazy, because it's like, hey, they have to, this random guy comes back, he's freaking out. It's like, they didn't capture him, they just ate him and stuff. And it's like, well, once they turn him, he'll have memories for all of your bases, so it's time for us to get out of here. Sets up some, I think, like, fertilizer bombs, takes out the rest of the Strigoi that kind of tried to chase after them, and it's like, alright, now we can go. He takes him to a high school, I believe it was, and it was like, it's a great place, I just couldn't, stay warm. And that was pretty much like his main issue, being alone in a giant school. It was just freezing cold. So he's like, you guys should be good to set up here. It's got great vantage points and all this stuff. See you later. And he's about to take off, and the woman's like, that's it. Like, we could do some good here. And he's like, you guys aren't doing any good. All you were doing was just, blowing up buses and maybe killing Strigoi, definitely killing off humans every once in a while. Like, you should be doing some actual things, like some tactical stuff. Like, I saw them, pumping a bunch of blood into a truck. Like, if anything, you should be working to, like, poison the blood to kill the Strigoi off slowly, like smart stuff like that, instead of just, like, running gun tactics. And I love the way it ended, where she was like, okay, let's do that. And then he's just like, oh. And then that's how the episode ends. So I was like, I kind of like the way they did that. And of course, going into the next episode, we do have them working on that. And I'm actually excited to see how that's supposed to play out. Naturally, things won't be perfect, but certainly looking forward to how this next episode will play out. But I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a great look at one of the darkest parts. Like, we knew something was weird. Like I mentioned in my review for the premiere, like, as soon as that commercial was playing, I was like, this is just the weirdest thing. How did this happen? Where did it really rise up? What's truly going on? We see the truck, filling up with blood. Why are people giving blood to begin with? Of course, it's just to feed the Strigoi off, but it's just really crazy. And like, this just showed like a darker element. Like, they're doing this, they have plans to feed off of humans for generations. They're literally breeding people to just make more humans so that they can feed, and if they happen to be girls, they'll probably be bred as well, just to create more and more generations of giant body bags for the Strigoi. So it was a very dark look at the inner workings of like this new foundation and stuff, and I really liked that. I thought it was nice, and it was just cool, in general, to actually see the other characters. Of course, we see pretty much everyone outside of Fett in this episode, and Quinlan as well, since they're kind of together. But looking forward to that in the next episode as well. I believe I saw that in the promo where they go back to Quinlan and Fett, where they kind of get some weaponry and stuff in the base and see what's going on there. But either way, really looking forward to the next episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed this one, but of course I would love to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. And naturally, with what happened with Setrakian, we don't get to see really anything from him once he's captured. So I would love to know your theories on where his storyline is going to pick up, what they've been doing to him for like the past 6 months, what's happening with him. The Master doesn't seem to care about anyone. Like, I was waiting for that, just like in the premiere. I was kind of waiting this whole episode to be like, oh, that's Setrakian. Like, that's why they kind of went to the place in general. At least that's what I thought. I guess they just knew they were like a random rebel cell. They didn't know it was like Dutch and Setrakian. But it's just interesting. It was like, okay, still no linked mind high vision stuff going on. Like, oh, that's Setrakian, my greatest enemy. That sort of stuff. Like, none of that stuff keeps happening. So, I'm just very curious how things are about to play out. But we'd love to know your theories on what we're going to get when Setrakian shows back up, if it's the next episode or whenever. We'd love to know what you guys think is going on with his character. And of course, like I said, want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.